I'm Nicole King, and this is Marbella Now.
And as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back to the program. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and enjoyed the San Bernabé festivities, although limited, obviously, for current situations. Someone who survived the current situation has managed to join us from Mijas down in the big city of Marbella is Thomas. And it's amazing how you meet people on the coast. Thanks to Jeremy Ferguson of the Biz Lunch, I met Ellie for the chocolate factory, and although it's in Mijas, it's well worth going up there. So when I went up there with my daughter, son-in-law, and my granddaughter, and had an amazing time, I then knew I wanted to go back to Mijas again, and ended up staying there for 3 days, 3 nights, all thanks to this gentleman. Ta-da! Thomas, really lovely to meet you.
Oh, thanks, Nicole. I'm really appreciative that you have me on the show here and come down to Marbella, especially during this beautiful week, big week for Marbella.
It is a big week for Marbella, and literally as we were coming into the studio, you could see everyone hanging up all the decorations. So it's really nice being in the city, and it was nice for me to come to Mijas. And funnily enough, I was about to book Sea to Sky Suites.
Right.
When it occurred to me, oh, maybe Ellie, she lives there, will know someone or something better. And she came back on Facebook, contact Thomas. You know, it's like, okay, so.
She knows everybody.
What a beautiful setup you've got there. How did that come about? How long have you had this? It looks brand new.
Well, I mean, the Sea to Sky Suites, we've actually just opened, take a big guess, right before COVID. So like many people that opened up their businesses right before the pandemic, it was a bit difficult, obviously, the first few months. But actually, we've been very busy, despite the fact, mainly because of the restrictions that we've had in Malaga, and the people from the coast really couldn't go anywhere else. So lo and behold, what they took trips within Malaga itself, and it's been actually a surprise success.
I have to say that my staycation was that good. As I said, I kept on extending it. And not only that, obviously hooked Thomas and Chema from Chema's Terrace into being ZeroHero partners, because apart from the suites, which I can highly recommend, I mean, there wasn't one detail that was missing.
No,
I mean, really, I mean, from the mirrors in the bathrooms to where to hang the clothes to the dishwashers and the washing machine. And everything's so complete.
Sure.
So well done.
Well, thank you. I'm not the only one, though. I mean, my decorator, Monica Gorini is her name. She actually did the decoration for the big Florida Beach Club now in Mijas La Cala. She's done a lot of good work, so she's really the one responsible.
Well, really, well done you. Enhorabuena buenísima, porque fue outstanding, absolutely more than one would expect. So I can highly recommend that. But then you also have restaurants, and that is probably where you've been more centered for a while. Before we talk about those, where did you come from? How did you get to being on the Costa del Sol? Because you told me, but I don't think the rest of you may know this.
Well, I'll give you the condensed version. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. I was born and raised there by my parents and my brother and my sister. And fast forward to when I actually came to Europe, I first went via Switzerland, where I was there for 3 years, to follow a dream, becoming a ski guide in Grindelwald, which is just an absolutely gorgeous place. There I met an American from New York, Butch is his name, and he convinced me to open up a photography business on the Costa del Sol. I'm like, Costa del Sol, never heard of this place in my life. And he said, well, you come down on a holiday and we'll talk, and which I did. He invited me to his villa here in Marbella, and what was not to like, and I was hooked immediately, and that was back in 1997.
And you're right, then you could go skiing as well in Granada, so like,
that was the
kicker.
Like
gives you a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was, especially during the time when it was, you can golf and you can ski in the same day. I mean, I don't know who in the right mind would actually do that, but, you know.
It's feasible.
It was enticing for sure.
So in 97 is when you hit the coast.
That's right.
Very different.
Oh wow.
Different Marbella, a different Costa del Sol.
Yes, and I love those times. I mean, my first foray into the gastronomic scene was Sushi Express with some partners. We opened up the first sushi catering business in the south of Spain, if I'm not mistaken, in a little sushi bar. We had lots of clients here in Marbella. It was a really exciting time. There was definitely a different feel, a much different feel. Yeah.
What took you to Mijas?
Well, curiously enough, when Butch said, do you mind if we visit this little town in the mountains on the way to Marbella? I said, hey, from the airport. And I said, well, of course, why not? And we went up to Mijas, this beautiful white village. And it was teeming with Japanese tourists at the time, which is the clients that he had in Switzerland. And we thought, well, heck, geez, this is the type of photography that we're doing right now. Why don't we just check out this town if it's a viable economic idea? And sure enough, that was our big marketing research. Coming in for one afternoon and seeing.
You landed on your feet, literally. I mean, it was just everything fell into place.
On the very same afternoon, when arriving at the airport in Malaga. And then, of course, we went to his villa in Marbella. The idea originally was to take pictures of golfers on the golf courses, which eventually we did. We worked on over 10 golf courses on the coast, doing quick photos. And yeah, that was really basically the idea how we got to Mijas, completely unplanned.
And now you're well established. In fact, when I was there, I felt a bit like it was everywhere you went was without knowing it. Wow. This is Thomas's place, this is Thomas's place. Because you have shops, you have restaurants. Give us a little bit of how the empire has grown.
People always say that. I get a little bit embarrassed because, to be honest with you.
It's a lot of responsibility and a lot of work and a lot of commitment. Everything has every yin has its yang. It all sounds good, but we know what it goes.
we're very proud because in two of the businesses, in two of our restaurants, I have a business partner, Argentine business partner, and we have a whole team. So, this wasn't created just in a bubble. And one thing always just led to another thing. I never expected to own the business that I do today, and I'm very proud to say that we are in the Pueblo the largest private employer after the town hall. So that's always a big feeling of pride when you know that you're supporting many different families in the town.
I don't think anyone who from abroad understands what that actually means to employ someone in Spain. You are so committed to them. The general rule is 14 months pay for 11 months work.
Sure.
You have to pay if they're off because they're ill. You then have to hire somebody else to get rid of them, even if they're useless, cost you a fortune. You are more committed, in fact, probably than to a child. So how many employees do you have, more or less?
Well, when we're at top season, we're over 100, so about 105, 108. Now with COVID, we've unfortunately had to close a few businesses, so we'll probably be top season of probably around 70 or so.
Which is a major commitment for a little boy from Toronto.
Yeah, when I think about the different costs that we have on a monthly basis, it is a little bit scary, to be honest with you, especially during these times.
And that's why we've got him down from Mijas. Because no, really, the staycation is great. People who live here need to go and explore other places. It was quick and easy to get to. Plus something I can't say that we are affording you the same courtesy here in Marbella. Up there we get to park for all day for €1.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, €1 a day. Hey?
So what you spend is literally what you spend, and not here. You have to take into the 15, 20 euros if you couldn't find a space. And so just that was worthwhile. On the motorway it was easy. So between the €1 parking and the €4.50 motorway, it's still cheaper than 1 hour parking in Marbella.
Yeah.
And then everything that Mijas, Pueblo in this instance, has to offer. Give us a rundown of your restaurants. Let's start with the Secret Garden.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Secret Garden, of course, is the jewel of the crown. And it's very curious because when all these little white villages were or have been in existence, obviously, for hundreds of years, for some strange reason, where we are in the heart of Mijas, it was never built in. So you have all of these homes that have surrounded this. This was with this huge abandoned garden with 19 olive trees, orange trees, kumquat trees, lemon trees, all in the center of town. And if you look on Google Maps, you can see this big green patch, and that's where we are. And when you're walking up San Sebastian Street, which is most likely the most idyllic street in Mijas, if not on the Costa del Sol.
Which is where the apartment Seaside Suites are.
Thank you. When you actually see from the street and you peer inside, what you see is our little patio. And people say, oh, that's a beautiful garden. I said, no. You have to walk through the patio, up through the passageway, and then it opens up into El Huerto, no? And people are just astounded by what they see there. And of course, we have the Argentinian grill, and it's just the setting when you're sitting in the summertime during a terral, and it's 28 or 30 degrees in the evening, and you have the candles and the lights, and and just this super soft feeling. It's magical.
It is magical. And also it's a perfect place not just to go to lunch and dine,
Yes.
but weddings.
Yes.
I mean, it's a great event place.
Well, we just had a great wedding just this past Saturday. Absolutely, the people were they were over the moon. Of course, the bride and groom, they knew what to expect, no, but the family that was invited, they were the mother and the fathers were just blown
So you
away.
take over the Sea to Sky Suites alojamientos, or
Yeah.
I don't, how do you say it in English? Lodgings, the spaces, the rooms.
Yeah.
Take all the rooms, do the event there. Another thing that I liked is we arrived to check into the apartments at Tapinchos.
Yes.
Everybody was just delightful. Really nice tapas and pinchos, and very easy, very comfortable. And I basically had so many meals there. So good price, such good food, very convenient because it's right between the best street, San Sebastian, and then
Sure.
all the other little areas. So you always have to go past it for one thing or another.
Sure, sure. I mean, this is the thing about Mijas is that there are a lot of good eateries. I wouldn't say that we're necessarily a huge, dense area of Michelin star restaurants, even though there are. But Mijas, in general, I would say is a good, strong 8.5 out of 10 for eating out, and price-wise, it's very affordable. Mijas used to have a reputation, maybe not that great, but really in the last 10, 15 years, it's changed in a big way. And people are slowly discovering it. And funny enough, as I mentioned before, people from Malaga are discovering it again, and that's our bread and butter.
Well, it's really nice to do it. And it's funny, as I said at the beginning of the show, if it wasn't for Jeremy, for Ellie, for then to the wouldn't have been there. And I can't help but share it with everybody. 2 columns in the Euro Weekly. One, I have to say, I did mention the donkeys. I couldn't but mention it. But there again, I don't feel that ignoring the issue is going to make it go away.
Sure.
And not going to Mijas is not going to make it go away.
Sure.
And as you said, little by little, you just keep at it and things will improve. But not going, and I know some people say that they've avoided Mijas because of it. Others thought the issue was over. There's always things that can be done. And we will be talking about things that can be done and that Thomas is doing about them, because you seem to be a bit like me. If you see you have to do something after the break, don't go away. I'll be back with Thomas of Mijas just after this.
Judy likes to consider herself a clever young woman, which is why she thought very carefully before choosing her insurance company. Now that she needs it, she's jolly glad she chose Línea Directa, as it looks as if she might have something better to do. Why don't you be clever, like Judy? Call Línea Directa on 952 14 78 34 and see which policy is best for you.
Everyone that comes and wants to join our ZeroHero association, they will have free non-alcoholic drinks at our venue at any time.
Hi guys, Ross here from Hogan Stand. Proud to be a member of the ZeroHero campaign, and we recommend everybody. Nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the ZeroHero program.
GY is happy to be ZeroHero partner.
How cool is that? GY.
We are proud to present Zero to Hero. Never drink and drive.
When I'm the designated driver, I think it's only fair that I get to choose a ZeroHero venue that rewards me with free soft drinks. My friends all get to choose and booze, and they feel safe going home with me. Make sure that you get your reward for being the designated driver. Why pay if you don't have to?
Out of bounds, ZeroHero partners.
Here we are, sticker going on. Delighted to welcome everybody and to be part of the ZeroHero campaign. Delighted.
ZeroHero, welcome here at the Gaucho de Lanús.
us apart. Poison arrows shoot straight to your heart.
Welcome to Lemongrass, Doña Lola. Thank you very much.
Just believe it's worth your time. One. We are
ZeroHero, welcome to Portofino, Cabo Pino.
we are
Hi guys, Casa Tour is proud to welcome ZeroHero. So come on in and enjoy free soft drinks for anyone who is the designated driver. Thank you, Nicole.
So here we are at Everest. Very cool.
Yeah.
Stickers going up.
Hiya, my name is Govinda. I'm from Everest. Welcome to ZeroHero, to Everest Fusion, to enjoy your cocktails, drinks, and happy hour as well. And food, of course, is delicious. Thank you.
just believe it.
Welcome to Sister Taparia. Perfecto.
Back with Thomas Weller, who owns half of Mijas Pueblo. No, he doesn't, and he's absolutely dying. But he does have some very nice restaurants. Before the break, we talked about the Secret Garden, Tapinchos, but you actually do have another restaurant. What's it called?
Miginius.
Miginius. Where does that name come from?
Oh, I know. Isn't it crazy? Because it's Miginius was...
Oh, Miginius.
Yeah. So that's the... I mean,
Miginius.
it was one of the first restaurants to open in 1936.
Well, so wink at me. You're winking
Apparently,
at me.
the owner used to always wink at the first tourists that would go by there. And for some reason, it got this name. And we just, because it's one of the oldest restaurants, we just, even though it's very difficult, even for Spaniards to pronounce, we never changed it.
Well, now that I know the philosophy behind it,
Right.
Miginius, okay, I've got it now, Miginius.
Right.
Okay. That's a different style of food. So it looked like you, what kind of food you serve there?
Modern Spanish.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, again, it's nothing, you know, earth-shattering, but it's good comfort food. It's Spanish, which of course, you know, is, I love the
Well,
cuisine
you've got everything.
here.
You've got the Argentine, you've got the Spanish, you've
Yeah,
got the Pintos, you've got a little bit of everything
Absolutely,
going on.
yeah, yeah.
Something for everybody. One thing that has actually delayed you coming to the show has been you've been very involved with the plight of the souvenir shops. And it's something I couldn't even begin to imagine existed or would have thought, but again, until you're in it, you don't know. So would you be so kind as to explain how you've been helping try and resolve something that actually is quite sad?
Yes, well, I mean, it's...
worrying.
Well, as you may have heard, there are European funds that are being given out to the different countries, which then go to the different capital cities of each country and then get dispersed to the different states, in this case Andalusia. The restaurants and hotels, I mean, we're actually serving a caña or a tapa, and we're actually making sales. A sector that has been even more affected have been the souvenir stores. You know, could be from any one of my stores. We have a
So the other two shops you have, are they souvenir shops?
Yes, yes, yes. And for some strange reason, we were not included in the sectors to be included when the money is actually given out, because we have zero sales since the 14th or the 15th of March 2020. And that's not very fair. And very quickly, since February, we have organized nationwide. And we have been lobbying the governments on all different levels, national, local, state-wise in Andalusia, that say, hey, we are not being included in these help when the money does actually arrive. And if we don't, you're going to find a lot of businesses closed forever. And closed shops means no taxes. It means people unemployed. It means people, you know, not getting their rental, and et cetera, et cetera. So please.
Is it kind of like the souvenir shops like slip through the loops? Why aren't they contemplated?
Yeah, it's a funny little technical issue. When you open up a business in Spain, you are assigned a number, a SANAI. And for some strange reason, there was never one created specifically for the souvenir stores. And then we're not talking just for souvenir stores. We're talking about mayoristas, so the wholesalers, the people that actually make things for us, and the artisans. And for some strange reason, there was never a specific number given to our sector. So for example, my stores, I am like a Home Deco and hardware store. And that's,
no, because
I'm a hardware store. I don't
those
sell
have
nails.
actually been doing quite well.
Well,
as well.
exactly.
They've had salespeople doing more at home
Yeah.
improvement, so
Yeah.
it's not the same.
Exactly, and it's technical details. And so we have had to struggle very hard. We were in Sevilla a few weeks ago with our, with our, oh no, we won't go kind of thing. And we had meetings with parliament officials from all different parties. We've talked to senators. We've talked to spokespersons for the different political parties on, like I said, national and state level. It's been a real slog.
And the result? What do you know so far? What's happening?
Well, I mean, it was just last Friday.
I'm only waiting years to 3 to get an answer, but
yeah,
hopefully
no. Unbelievably, we really didn't think, because the announcements were delayed and delayed and delayed. They were supposed to be announced in the beginning of May. They were not, and they were delayed. Frankly, we didn't think that we were going to include it. Until Friday, the official boja came out in the evening, and I got a phone call while I was having dinner with my son, and I ignored it because I thought it was going to be bad news, and it kept ringing, and my colleague in this group said, "Pick up the phone, I've got some news to tell you," and he said, "We've been included."
And that is just congratulations.
Thank you.
What does that translate into for you, your sector? And
Sure. I mean, it means basically money, grants given to us. Others, like I said, we have had 0 sales in 16 months. And it's just to be able to pay for the rent and to pay for the suppliers that we weren't able to finish paying for. It means paying for workers that are still on the ERTE. It means, perhaps having to close down your business and being able to pay for it. All of us autónomos and autónomas, we've gone into the tens of thousands of euros into debt because we have not had any business activity. So
quite shocking. I mean, I was just thinking you were completely dark-haired before COVID, and it's a lot of stress.
A lot of grays.
A lot of people to have on ERTE, a lot of people, staff, a lot of responsibility.
Sure.
But how well that you've managed to get involved. How do you understand the Spanish system so well? Very few foreigners come in and integrate to the level which you have.
Well, I think as a Canadian, I think it's very much our culture to assimilate, and we're such a diverse cultural country that you learn other people. You're more patient, perhaps. I don't want to generalize too much, but I like to think that's a good Canadian trait. And as a guest here, I have no choice. I mean, I'm living here, so I have to learn as quickly as possible. And I made it very clear that when I came here, I came to be part of the society here, not form a group apart. And I would say 90% of my friends are all locals. I mean, I speak 90% Spanish every day.
Andaluz, in fact.
And Andaluz, yes. I mean, it's funny doing an interview in English. It's a bit strange for me, but and a lot of patience. There's the good and there's the not so good living here, but I think there's still a lot more good. And so when you come across some diversity or challenging moments, you just take a deep breath and
and get on with it.
And get on with it.
It's nice actually to see how Mijas just gets on with it. When you go up there, it's a world unto itself.
Sure.
So many different little enclaves. Very good place to keep fit.
Yes.
Up and down all the
That's for
time.
sure.
And now I think mastered it. I got lost at the beginning, but then you realise it actually just goes round in one
It's
circle.
not so big, yeah.
It really is. It's not so big. Well, it was lovely to get a chance to chat with you and know more about it. And I'm absolutely delighted that you're ZeroHero partners. And I'm going to explain this to you and to everyone at the same time. Basically, when everyone comes from Marbella all the way, well, just a quick trip to Mijas,
Right.
and they come for dinner or to stay with you, and they park in the car park, which is €1 to stay in Mijas for 24 hours. But if you're the designated driver and you're going to be driving home again, you don't need to pay for your soft drinks, and that's very cool.
Yeah,
to reward the person who has to deal with all those drunk people at the table.
Oh, it's the very least that we can do. And one little last thing I will say for the people that are coming, we're doing a big promotion for the local wines, for the Ronda and Antiquera, all the Malaga wines. And anyone that does come, that doesn't have to worry about driving, will be introduced to some wonderful local wines as well, which is, we also have to support our local fantastic wineries.
Without a doubt, and I know that you was really suffered having to go around doing all that wine tasting.
It was very difficult.
A really
yes.
difficult part of the job. Just as a last thing, do you have any reservations available, or are you completely booked now ad infinitum, just so that our viewers know if...
Well, I mean, we always recommend people to reserve. We just really not sure when it's just really going to go off, as we say. But we always recommend taking reservations, especially if you're coming from Marbella or further away. You want to make sure that you get the best seat. So.
And the website's easy, it's very clear. It actually doesn't do it justice. There are to the details of the room, because it is lovely. But then again, congratulations to your decorator. She did a fabulous job. Thank you for being ZeroHero partners.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing for Mijas. It's can't
Well, it's really, can't believe I hadn't been there ever, baby. Maybe once, twice, for a few minutes, never to actually enjoy it. Mijas Costa frequently.
Sure.
But it's another world up there, and it really is. And the chocolate factory is a must as well.
And Chema's a dear friend.
Terrace was awesome. I did that for my birthday, completely unplanned, and yet perfect moments.
And it's a great, if you're living here, it's a great place to take someone to that hasn't been here to the coast. Everyone falls in love with Mijas Pueblo.
Exactly. It is so typical, it is so authentic, it is so Spanish, and it's so worthwhile. But then come back to Marbella, or at least watch Marbella now. Thank you so much, Thomas.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. And thank you guys for joining us once again. You can watch recordings of this show and all others from the RTV Marbella website, or their YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel, or you can go to nicoleking.es for links to the programme, also to my column, Marbella Moments in the Euro Weekly News, and our ZeroHero website with full listings of ZeroHero partners offering free soft drinks to designated drivers, including Tapinchos, The Secret Garden, and Meguinas. I got it.
Well done.
Hasta mañana. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. Bye for now.